If you want to be successful at being yourself, then you have to take a chance on not being like everyone else. These were the words said by Joyce Meyer, who is one of New York Times best-selling author. Kuzampula, you're watching Curious About Careers, and I'm your host, Ashidema. Today I have a photographer and a filmmaker. So Upasana, thank you for joining us on the show today, and please tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Thank you so much, Tashi, for inviting me. This is one of my first time doing a show like this. Thank you so much to you and BBS. My name is Upasana. I am a photographer and a filmmaker, actually a photographer turned filmmaker, I would say. I'm very passionate about cameras. I did my graduation in zoology honors, and when I came back I started working with the same field, but I used to always run or be in the photographer's desk, and one of my seniors said, "What are you doing? You're not good at what you're doing." Then I realized that I think I'm interested in cameras. So that's how I went to Bombay to do my masters. I finished my masters, then there was no looking back. Cameras is my life now.
So a photographer, I think when we were growing up, our generation, we never had that ambition. Like everyone wanted to be a doctor or a teacher or engineer, but no one ever mentioned photography as a profession. So how did it change for you?
This is a good question for me, because I come from a background where my siblings, my cousins are all doctors and engineers. So I was brought up, in my household, I was, like you said, ambition. What's the ambition? So just bluntly I would say a doctor, because I didn't know what doctor would be or what an engineer would be. But for a long time my ambition was doctor. And then when I did my zoology, I think that's where I was heading to. But then when I realized what I really wanted to do, it was cameras. I think I was fortunate enough to realize my passion, and I got into it.
Well, I think that's great news for the entertainment industry, the film industry, because you're doing great work. So tell us about your first project.
I've been working as a photographer for 10 years now, and I've recently moved into filmmaking. Filmmaking in the sense short movies of my own. I was doing videos in the sense I was doing documentaries for UNICEF, WFP and organizations such as that. But when COVID started, I had no work. So there was nothing to do. I was just sitting at home, and I thought maybe a script writing would help me, to get some money from somewhere. So I started writing my script, and there was an opportunity from PBS, the Kidu Fund, where I got selected and I made my first movie, which was Love in Quarantine. And after that, I am quite addicted to making short movies. I think this is where I want to go next, making short movies, maybe a longer commercial movie one day. But I will not leave my photography. I'll start doing videos as well as photos along with movies.
And then being a woman, especially in the film industry, you must have faced a lot of challenges. So can you tell us about a few of them?
For me, I would say this is a challenge with me only, because I don't write scripts and I direct. So, and another thing is I don't want to do everything, because I've been doing a lot of things. I direct, I edit, and I do sound as well. So I'm a one-woman army. So that way I thought maybe I would hire somebody to do the script and I'll just direct. That way I thought it'll be easier for me to focus on one aspect, and maybe I would be better in that. That's the reason the script part is not by me. So sometimes it's a challenge for me to take somebody's script and and work on it. For me it's a challenge. Other challenges which I go through in a day-to-day is, I think, professionalism and skills. When I hire some people, they don't reach on time. That's my biggest problem, because when somebody hires me, they have trusted me and given me some work. So if somebody does not come on time, it comes to my resume again. So that's a big challenge here. So we need to upskill, and we need to, you know, because we don't have colleges or we don't have schools for direction of photography, so we lack a lot of upskilling or generations. So I'm very happy that, you know, DSP project is coming with a lot of upskilling the youth with photography and videographies. I hope to recruit those people one day, because I think they come with discipline as well as skills.
It's wonderful to hear that, you know, our youth are getting those opportunities to better themselves in their career. I wanted to ask you that question specifically because we met during one of the trainings. And you mentioned you were working on a project that time. You mentioned that, you know, as a filmmaker, especially as a woman filmmaker, you're getting a lot of support from everyone. So I was wondering what kind of challenges you were facing and what kind of support you were getting.
So when you said challenges, I had to think for a while, because right now there are challenges in every field, but for, like professionalism, all of that. But I don't think there's a huge challenge as of now. Because as a woman, I'm very happy, because when I meet somebody or when I go and get a project, the client is very happy, saying that, oh, you're a woman and taking up camera. So that's a very good thing for me, because those would be the challenges maybe somewhere else. But out here, I think people are very happy to see a woman behind the camera and taking the camera and walking in the mountains. So it's good for us and the future women who want to take up filmmaking as a career.
So Upasana, I'm sure the viewers might be very interested to know all about the filmmaking process, because you have auditions, you have location scouting, and we have editing, all the different aspects of filmmaking. So would you like to take us through that?
Sure. Let me talk about my short movie which I directed. It's called Like a Moonflower. So this is about a transgender woman. So for me, the biggest challenge was to get the cast, because I auditioned for nearly 2 months, and some of the young guys who came for auditions, they were quite reluctant, because they said, I'm a commercial actor, and you know, for me to wear a kira or a dress, and after that, will I come out of it? First question was that, and will I get something else after this? And then to convince them was one of the challenges I had, and then to train them, and then make them the actor. So that was the biggest challenge which I had, because we need actors and actresses who can do character actings, you know. So it was quite interesting, because I wanted to make something good, and then finally I got a guy named Popchu. He was really good at the end. So when you do auditions, and till the time you don't find the character, you keep searching. I don't know how other people do, but that's how I do. And if I don't find that character, if I don't see the person, if I don't see the character in that person, I feel there's no use of shooting for me, because I will not be able to give justice to the movie, because the whole movie is that person. So if I don't trust that person, I'll keep looking and searching for that one character. So after that, then it gets a little easy, because for me, or I think many people, to find the character is the most important for a short movie. Then we move on. Then the production design comes in. I'm also a trained production designer, so it's easier for me to do everything, because I don't hire, I do everything myself. Then when the time comes, then I get my team across.
Talking about projects, let me ask you, what are you currently working on?
Currently, I'm working with SNV and Helvetus. These are the 2 projects which I have. I'm also in talk with Samu. They said they are quite keen on making a short movie with me and some other directors. So that's one project I'm looking forward to after I finish my other 2 projects.
Okay, so are all those like short films?
For now, yes, concentrating on short films, but in near future, I would want to make a full-length movie, but I have to be mentally prepared to do that. So which I'm doing it, because to make a movie is, I feel it's not easy, because you go through so much in your own head, because you want to make something good. Whatever time you've invested, you want to give it to your best, you know, you don't get that time again. So if I make something, I invest a lot of time, think about it and do this, because I don't know how other people do, but when it's my first day shoot, I don't sleep. I don't get sleep, and when I get up, I'm like, my eyes are all swollen, and I was like, when will this stop? No, maybe in my second movie, maybe in my third movie, but it didn't stop. It went on. My second movie also, tomorrow is my shoot, and I couldn't sleep the whole night. Morning I get up and I just slept for half an hour. So thankfully the next day I sleep, because I'm so tired from the first day of shoot. So that happens with me, because you have so many things, and I also feel that, you know, I'm very passionate about cameras. When I direct, I go into camera, which is not good. So I'm thinking, like, you know, where the camera should be. But I have realized that, you know, let the camera person take care of his work and let me concentrate on my direction, because that will lessen my work and I can concentrate more on my direction. But what to do? I love cameras. I can't stay away from my cameras. So I'm very passionate about cameras. So in my head, I'm thinking my shot breakdown, which I'm not supposed to do. But I'm like, if the camera is there, it's always in my head. So maybe I should get more into cinematography or DOP, because I love cameras. But having said that, as you know, we do a lot of things here: editing, direction, cinematography. I think I will figure out what will interest me.
I think it's great that you're multitasking, because when you do everything, then you understand, you have a perception and a concept of what each and every person does.
When you understand a lot of aspects, there's a disadvantage also, because then you want to concentrate on somebody else's work, which I think is not good. Let that person take care and you concentrate on your aspect. So that's one disadvantage, I feel. I don't know whether we want to say it's a disadvantage or an advantage, but that's how it is. Yes, yes.
I think that's fine, because in life everything has its advantages and disadvantages. So but if we focus more on the advantages, I think it should be fine, I guess. And the other question that I have for you is about the financial aspect of filmmaking.
The most difficult part.
Like, are you able to, you know, get funds for your projects, and are you able to sustain a decent livelihood with your career?
Finance is always the most difficult part, but you have to prove yourself. Then I think it gets easier, because you can't just sit at home and you think that the money will come and, you know, people will people will call you and stuffs like that. So a person who does not have a 9-to-5 job, how will you get your next project? You know, when I'm a freelance, I need to talk to people. I need to socialize with people, and out of mind, out of sight, out of mind. So if they think of me, they will call me and say, oh, I have a project or something like that. So I really believe in socializing and, you know, talking to people, saying hello, hi, and everything like that. Like, you know, we can see the changes which have come in 5 years. The film industry, the Bhutanese film industry, how much we've progressed. And now being the OTT platforms being out, you know, Samu, Soyala and Shangri-La, there are a lot of projects in town. People are turning into scriptwriters these days, you know. So it's a very positive and it's a very good time for people who want to come to this industry, I feel. But there's a lot of work. So financially, OTT platforms coming in, you know, people are supporting. And these days, you know, when we say a video can do so much, you know, a photograph and a video can say so much, people are realizing that and putting their advocacy and educational things on video. So you are getting more work. So if you are passionate, if you are really interested, see, if you want to be in this field, you have to work hard. You have to work hard. You have to prove that you are one of the best. If you are just one of the persons just hanging a camera and taking around, work won't come to you. So you have to work hard to get that fund in you and make things. And if you make a good movie or if you make a good video, people will recognize you. And it's a small country, and it's a small country. If you do good work, people will recognize you, and you will get your good work. You will get your second project, or you will get financials. So I think if you do good work, you will be good with your finances.
Yes, one of our greatest strengths is that since we are a small country, small nation, the work that we do gets recognized by everyone, and everyone knows you. Yes. So that's great.
That's good also for us. For
So being a filmmaker, now you have your own production house. So tell us more about that.
The production house came just 2 years back. Before COVID, the work was good. After COVID, it's become a little lesser, but hopefully it will pick up soon, as a lot of OTT platforms have also come in. So these days I see a lot of youngsters with very good talented people. You know, you get to learn so much from the youngsters, and as well as the older people as well, because these young people come up with new things. You know, if you don't upskill, if I don't upskill, or if I don't learn like any other field, I will be left out. And in any field, we need to upgrade, upskill ourselves. Like for example, in 1 or 2 months, new technology comes, new software comes, we have to be updated. So whenever I hire a new person, I get to learn so much from them. There's like, oh, you can do this also, and you can do this also. So I want to sit with him more and learn, you know, and then I get to know that thing. So hiring young people, it's a boon to your production house also. And then, but I've seen a trend, they don't stick around with you. The people which have, the guys or girls who have worked with me, they don't work with me for 9 to 5. They say we would rather work like a freelance. And what I felt was, it's important for me to also understand this person, because maybe he'll be creative when I hire him in that way. You know, or somebody else who says that, okay, you can take me 9 to 5. Maybe that person will be good with me 9 to 5. But a person who tells me that, you know, I am not available every day, you can hire me on a shoot or something, I want to respect that person, because maybe that person is good in that way. So a lot of youngsters have that idea, which I think it's good, because maybe in that 1 hour, you'll be very creative and you'll give me that much of work which I need from you.
I guess you are very active on social media. Well, I want you to tell about what you're doing on social media.
I used to do a little bit of photography classes before. Then I thought, if students are really interested, I've opened a page on Facebook. It's called Bhutan Photo Walk. You can be a member. So me and a friend, we've opened this page together, and you can be a member of the page, and we do photo walks. We take students, or whoever, you know, retired people, because we last time when we did a photo session, we got a lot of retired people, and then we were like, whoa! And one of the sir was saying, I finished my work, now I want to learn photography. It was so interesting, you know. He always wanted to do photography, and he was very creative. So we get those kind of people, and we get youngsters also. So we want to encourage people who want to take photography as their career. You can join the group, be a member, and we do photo walks and we do workshops. So you can be a member. It's all for free.
It's inspiring to hear that people from all walks of life and different ages are coming up to you and taking up photography, something that they were always interested in. So it's nice that your initiative is bringing different people together. And as a filmmaker, Upasana, I also do a little bit of editing, and you do everything when it comes to making a movie. So the way we watch a movie, I'm sure it's not the same as how the other audience, you know, the general audience watches it. So can you tell me, since you belong to the entertainment industry and you've worked for a long time, can you tell me some of the good things that you have seen over the years, and maybe critique some of the things that people can improve on?
You understand that aspect, that's why you're asking me, I know that. So while watching a movie, the first time when I watch, I only look at the camera aspect. I don't concentrate on the movie because I'm so engrossed in the camera works, where the camera is moving, how's the blocking, where's the person moving from, which angle and all of that. So second time when I watch, I'll concentrate on the story. So when somebody asks me how's the movie, I'm like, okay, let me watch it again and tell you. But I like doing that. I watch so much movies to learn camera angles, or you know, which side it is and all of that. That's my interest. It's so nice these days, you know, we see a lot of women scriptwriters and they are coming up. We see a lot of stories written by women. So I'm also trying to write. I don't want to get into the aspect of script writing because I love my cameras, but it's so important to have narrative coming from a woman, and the narrative itself changes. So it's interesting to see that perspective from camera angle, from filmmaking, screenplay and storytelling.
It's great to know that, you know, more women are coming up and telling their stories. We really do need representation in the entertainment industry. And like different components of filmmaking, there are various jobs in the film industry, and you specialize in direction even though you do all other things. So someone who wants to become a director, how would you tell them to proceed, you know, in this field?
So somebody who wants to become a director, I think it's very important to have a skill. Go for a course. There are many courses, 6 months, or if you don't have a 2-year master's course, you can go for a 6 months and a 1 year, because it's very important to also understand the basics and the academics. I also believe that, you know, you don't have to study. If you are really passionate about being somebody, you can just go to YouTube. If you are a passionate person, go to YouTube, study, and you know, you can learn. But sometimes your academics helps. Sometimes it helps. Maybe if you have a big group, how would you manage that group? You know, your skills comes in that time, because when you are a student, you have to make a movie with, let's say, 20 people in the class. You go out, you're very young and naive, and then more than making a movie, I was more worried about how do I communicate and how do we you know, make a movie together. So I think that is the biggest challenge, because you know what you want to do as a director, but how will you manage your team? So business aspect in working is very important. You are creative, but how would you manage a team? You are good, but how would you manage a team is very important. So if you want to become a director, if you want to do something, I think you should do a small course on it, learn the aspects of business, because at the end it's also a business, you know. You can't say, oh, I'm a creative person, I'm a photographer, take the camera and go in town and take pictures. Who will buy your pictures? You have to understand your market. You have to understand who's going to you know, buy your pictures. So to sustain and to pay your bills, you have to understand the business aspect also, I feel. Because this happened with me also as a young person. I said, oh, I'm a photographer, I'm a creative person, you know. And somebody in Bombay hired me and they said, this is not what I wanted. And I started getting angry. I was like, no, this is how it is. And I was trying to tell him that I'm the photographer, I'm the expert here. But then in the course of time, I realized that, you know, it's also a business. I have to understand that person who's behind and he's paying me. So I think it was easy for me because I understood that at a very young age. Then it was quite easy for me to, you know, take up work and do work as a freelance or a production house.
Definitely, like you mentioned, you know, when you're working on a project like that, making a film or something like that, there are a lot of people involved, so you have to think about managing all of them, every aspect. So Upasana, thank you for joining us, and I hope you keep on representing women in the entertainment industry.
Thank you so much for inviting.
And to all the viewers who are interested in photography and want to learn more, you can join the Facebook page Bhutan Photo Walk. And to all those who are interested in filmmaking and direction, you can contact Upasana on this email address. Thank you for watching.